All right. Welcome to Setbreaker Podcast. And today we have a guest, my friend, Kelly Jean Brown.
What's up?
Hello. How are you doing?
Hi. I'm good. How are you? I'm good. I'm good today. How are you?
You're good today.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like today I'm good. If you would have asked me that a few days ago, don't know. But I'm good today. How are you?
I'm great.
That's good.
Can I bring it up a little bit or should we move on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
So you had we're jumping right into it. So yeah, you had a
Therapy.
You had a mental breakdown.
I did a little bit. I did have a little bit of a mental breakdown.
So what happened?
Dude, honestly, it's like really hard to explain. Like it would take the whole episode, but I mean, I've always dealt with anxiety, really bad anxiety since I was like a child. And a little bit of depression, a lot of bit of depression. And so, I was doing really well for the last few months, like feeling really good, feeling positive. But then I go through points, I think because I'm really I used to be really negative. So the last few months I've been really trying to be positive, but therefore I almost like kind of push away when I'm starting to feel bad. Like I almost want to like remain positive all the time, which like, you know, isn't really healthy because then I just bottle shit up. So I basically had like last week, just like a lot of things going on that were really affecting me. And then, which like, I don't mind sharing, but they're just probably too long. So it was just everything, you know, usually that's how shitty days work, is like things just keep accumulating on top of each other. But yeah, it was just a lot and I was like just pushing it down. And so I went to work and just like had a mental breakdown, like basically in the bathroom. And then I went to Big Bear I got up early in the morning, drove to Big Bear, got an Airbnb alone, which is like also something I never would have done in the past. So like I'm very proud of myself because I used to be very codependent on people. So I'm really learning like independency and like I actually am enjoying being alone in my thoughts. So I drove to Big Bear, had like 3 days by myself. I met a couple people, which was nice. But yeah, I really just like got away, was able to kind of focus on what I needed to like work on. And I feel fucking great. I feel like I'm on the other side now. It was really good because the first day I had like time to myself where I was just able to like collect my thoughts. And I was having such a breakdown because I felt very overly stimulated by like interactions. Like I wanted to be alone. I wanted to be like in nature. I felt like I was really sick. I think I was telling you this. I was really sick of like having to please people and like getting walked all over, like whether that was my job and dealing with people or whether that was like relationships or friendships. Like actually it was literally all of those things. Like I felt like I was dealing with like unhealthy relationships, like friendships, whatever. And then like my work life was weird. I just really felt like I needed to be like away from humans because I was starting to hate people. I also had a really bad interaction with a stranger that like really triggered me. So yeah, I was just like, I don't want to murder somebody. I need to get away. And then I met a really nice guy and his roommate on my trip. So it's like you never know like what the universe just like brings to you.
Very true. Very true. Especially when you allow yourself to be open to it, you know, and when you open yourself to the universe like that, yes, there could be negatives. That's inevitable, but that also gives you the chance to accept the positives too, like some beautiful moments.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I've been really learning lately as well. And in terms of the boundaries thing, that is something I struggled with hardcore, like fucking hardcore. And I worked on that just this past like 8 months or so.
Yeah.
Like it was tough. Like, and I'm talking like, but over the years I had to learn that, especially with friendships too, because yeah, when you're too nice, quote unquote, like nice, and you do things for people, they will take advantage of that, no matter how kind they are. And there's some people who purposely and consciously know that, like, oh, you know what, like, if we get drunk, we should invite Kelly because if we get drunk, then she'll offer to drive or something like that. Because I was that guy before too. Like I would be the driver and all that type of shit. So, that's just kind of human nature. You give somebody power, they will take advantage of it one way or another. So the boundaries is a big deal. And I think a lot of us are afraid to put boundaries down because for myself, like I was afraid I would lose a friendship, or maybe the girl would leave, or my like I wouldn't be loved by my mom or whatever. But you actually learn as you put their boundaries down that even if they don't like it at first, they respect you more.
Yeah.
Right. And it ends up becoming healthier. Right. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. It's hard. I'm still working on it too. I think I really hate hurting people I care for. So like, even if somebody's really hurt me, I tend to like kind of focus on like the past, where I kind of almost focus on like the good parts of like the relationship or the friendship, and therefore like I'm like, well, I don't want to hurt them because I'm like still holding on to like the love for them or whatever it is. And it's like, you just have to look out for yourself. You don't have to be vengeful, but like you also, I'm too nice almost, where it's like, why are you giving them so much? You know what I mean? Yeah.
It feels, it's like a compulsion, right?
Yeah.
Because that's a coping mechanism. That's how you survive from childhood to now. Mm-hmm. That's how I survived. But it's up to us to, rewire that shit. And it was very hard for me too, just being able to say no to certain things, or just saying like, even choosing a place to eat before I'd be like, well, I mean, we could do whatever you want. Yeah. Right? Because it's like, oh, but what if I say this and we get Italian food and they don't like it and then they get mad at me because it wasn't good, or something, or it's like shit like that. But now I'm just comfortable just not being afraid of the whatever quote unquote repercussions come from that, because they're not even really repercussions. Because the more you take these actions of saying no, the more you see, well, I didn't die. Like for instance, I talked about it in the last episode, but I'll just say it again real quick. You know when you go to stand-up open mics, right? Yeah. And there's a list to be able to perform.
Right.
A lot of times it's first come, first serve, and people get there early to wait to sign up.
Right.
And I was there for like 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. And there's this guy, two guys that came in last second. There was a lot of us that waited 45 minutes, and like 5 of them that were already there signed up. And then before I could touch the pen, these fucking guys came in, signed their name, and like 2 other people. And normally I let it go because I'm, keep the peace. But I was like, this time I didn't even think. I just walked up, grabbed my pen, crossed his name out, and I put my name in place of it. Uh-huh. Yeah, because I would have been like 13, 14.
Yeah.
And then I'd have to wait for fucking like an hour plus, just because I got there early. And then I told him straight up, right? Yeah. I was vocal about it. So a small part of me was kind of afraid as I was doing it, but like I just did it because I've been training myself, and I didn't die. We didn't get into a fight, right? He was definitely mad at me, but nothing bad happened.
See, like that's something, I'm glad you said that, because that's something that I wouldn't have done, because I do get like scared, it's like, why? Like they shouldn't have fucking done that. So
yeah, and they know what they did too. They always know. And when we talked about it, he fucking knew. But he was like, well, I didn't know. I'm like, dog, you've been doing stand-up comedy and you run shows. Yeah. Right? And you're like,
who was it? No, I'm just kidding.
I'll cut that out.
Bando. Oh, of course.
Yeah, Bando. Yeah, I'm gonna cut this part out. Okay. But yeah, that happened. And when you have moments like that you would never have done, because I've never done that, right? Now I don't recommend just crossing people's name out like that. Like I'm gonna be a little better than that, but like I just did it, and that's a reference point for courage from that point on. So that you can take, like, it's like up here in terms of, oh, the fear of something could happen to me, repercussions, oh my god, maybe I could beat a blah blah, but you take that action and it's like up here, but then nothing happens. So everything below that, all those other fears, you like bypass that. So you are able to move with more courage with all these new reference points. Right. Like such as like you're on a date and then they do something you don't like and you're like, I don't want to talk about that. Yeah. Like I'm not comfortable talking about that. Instead of just like, well, yeah, I guess I'll tell you about, the first time I got like my ass ate or something, right? So those little things really do make a huge difference. step. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's funny you say that actually, because I've just really been working on like not trying to people please so much. And I had a friend, one of my good friends, who had a birthday thing like a month ago, and it was a wine tasting, and she invited me, which is lovely that she invited me, but I don't drink. Like, I'll have a glass of wine, but like I don't drink, so why would I go to a wine tasting? Like, doesn't make any sense. And two, I get very like socially anxious sometimes, so like I kind of knew that like I probably wouldn't have really enjoyed myself, one, based off of like who I thought might have been there, two, I wasn't going to be drinking. So like, what am I going to sit there and watch them drink?
Right.
So I just texted her back and I was like, hey, like, would you be mad if I didn't go? First of all, I didn't even need to ask that. Like, I shouldn't have asked that.
Good catch.
But I was like, I don't, think I'm going to go. Like, I don't drink like that. So that's pointless. But I would love to take you out one night and like us do something like dinner. I literally said that because I do care, it was nice of her to invite me. And then I found out that she was like offended, which I kind of got the hint because like I haven't heard from her in a little bit. And I'm just like, sorry that I was looking out for myself. Like, I didn't want to go to your wine tasting. Boo hoo. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just like, and that's where like people need to think like, oh, why didn't she want to go to my wine tasting? It's not because she offended or wanted to offend me. It's because she genuinely didn't feel comfortable. It's like, what's wrong with that? Like, people just make such big deals out of things instead of being like, oh, you know what? For her mental health, maybe that wasn't like the best environment for her. And I'll respect that.
I used to get offended like that too, but then the people that get offended, it's because they got some issues with themselves too. So they don't understand how to, she's projecting basically. So, she has a problem probably doing that too. Or maybe she just feels entitled, but who the fuck knows? I don't want to like say anything about her in that sense, but yeah, a lot of people do kind of take it the wrong way, but I got used to like, I had a hard time saying that type of shit too, but now I'll just straight up say like I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Like I don't like that shit. And they got used to me saying that. And I was afraid, I'm like, they're not going to invite me because I have a group of friends that like to party and do all that shit. And they'd ask me to go to raves. And I was like, I almost felt like going, but I quit doing that stuff because I used to do a lot of ecstasy. I don't fuck with that stuff anymore. So then I would just say like, now I'm like, oh no, I don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't like that. I like the music, but I'm not going to go.
Right.
I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah.
Or like even drinking, like people will be like, yeah, drink more. Or not drink more, but like, you should drink. But I'm like, because I basically quit drinking for the stand-up shit, but I drank a few times recently, but like I can be like, nah.
Yeah.
Because they can feel the different types of no's. Because the first type of no in the beginning, initially, when I'm like, oh, no thanks. They'd be like, you sure? And I'm like, no, yeah, like, come on. And they keep doing it all night. But now, since I'm so like with myself and I'm centered and like a stone.
Right.
The type of no I say, they just feel it. And I don't say it louder. I don't say it aggressively. I'm like,
right.
No, I'm good. Like, no, I don't do that. I don't drink. And they just stop. And so you notice that. Because, people can always kind of read you, right? Right? So, but the fact that you even said that was a big jump.
Well, I think that people get in this selfish way of like, oh, she's not fun because she doesn't want to drink. It's like, why does that, like, you have different friends for different reasons, and maybe I'm not the friend to party with, but like I offer other things. So like for you to like be annoyed that like I don't always want to, that's not like what I want to do when we hang out is like so dumb, you know?
And maybe that's not like an actual friend, because if they get mad like that.
No, she's a good person, but I just think that it's, I don't know.
But what does a good person have to do with being like a friend that fits you? Now, I'm not saying you cut her out, but I'm just saying that's something to think about, because I thought like that too.
Well, I haven't. Yeah, I mean, I've been polite, but I haven't gone out of my way because I'm just like, if that's really going to bother you, then like, that's your problem, basically. I need to stop being like, feeling like I need to apologize for something. And instead it's like, well, that's your problem if you're going to be mad about it.
Yeah. Maybe you can make that a thing where for like a month, you never apologize. Because that's actually something I did. There's a book I'm reading There's a book that I'm like on like my fourth or fifth read. It's called No More Mr. Nice Guy, and it's about getting rid of neediness. And there's like 48 different workouts or worksheets, whatever, challenges you could say throughout the book, and that helped like really kill the neediness within. It's still there, so I have to constantly work on it, but it gets better and better and better and better. And one of them was do the opposite of what you would normally do. So do not apologize, even when you feel like it. Like fight that urge. So you could see that you're not going to get this crazy punishment like you would think you would get, right?
Yeah.
And I did that. Even to my friends, I didn't apologize. Even when I came late, I didn't apologize. I didn't apologize for anything for like a month. And I was like, oh my God, people still want to hang out with me. You know, like nobody's fucking, you're a horrible person, you know? Nothing happened.
Yeah.
There was a power in that.
Wow.
It's fucking crazy, right?
Dude, I feel like we need to like make it a point to hang out more, because I feel like a lot of things you've told me, I am able to relate to and connect to. And I think we share similar struggles and stuff like that, where you're able to feel comfortable discussing them, you know, because I feel like certain people, if they're not on that same length of like, oh, I want to work on this or I want to work on that, you can't have those conversations with them.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah. So I feel like you'd have very good, helpful information for me.
Yeah. I mean, this is stuff that it was a build up to this. I've always been kind of desperate for change since I was 18. So I was doing self-improvement shit since I'm 31, since 18.
Yeah.
So it's been a long journey of peeling away the layers of the onion to get to what's really fucking going on, right, within. So, and it didn't fully make sense until the past two years or so. And it didn't even, and then now in the past like few months is where it really like it's in my bones and is a part of my being, where I'm so comfortable in my skin. I just don't care about losing people, because if they can't accept me, I don't give a fuck. And it's not one of those like Tumblr, if you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best bullshit.
Right.
That's kind of saying, well, are you actually trying to improve yourself? Or you just want to be stuck in your own bullshit ways and then just say, well, you know, like, fuck you if you can't handle my coke addiction and, you know, me like trying to use you for money and stuff, right? But yeah, it's a tough thing. So, and I think a lot of stand-up comedians, there's a lot of people in general too, but a lot of stand-ups haven't done that, and they depend on the laugh. And when they don't get the laugh, it's like done, right? I mean, you know, recently too, somebody offed himself, and that's, you know, rest in peace. But that's why it's important for us, especially in these times, to really take care of the mental health more than anything. Like more than just like, oh, if I don't hit this open mic, then I am not doing something right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not grinding correctly. No, it's, if you need to take a week off just to focus on your shit, fucking do it.
Well, it's really interesting you say that, because I had to like basically last minute call off work or request off work.
For the Big Bear thing?
For Big Bear, yeah. And I was so embarrassed and like felt such shame, because like, one, I'm very responsible. So like if I'm supposed to be somewhere, like I take that seriously. Two, I don't, you know, like people, this kind of a newer job, so I don't want people's judgments of me to think that I'm not responsible or, you know, dedicated or committed. And I also don't like people knowing my business, so I didn't want to like be like, I am having a mental breakdown. But yeah, it was just all these things combined where I was like shaming myself so much. I was like, this is embarrassing. It's turning way more into like a bigger deal than I wanted it to be. And now after those few days, I'm like, bitch, you had such a beautiful experience and you were doing really great that like you need to do that more, actually. Like next time you, hopefully not anytime soon, but next time you have that breakdown, drive up to Big Bear because it helped you, right? And like the whole reason why I had that breakdown was because I was pushing things so far down that it exploded instead of like taking care of myself when I needed to, you know?
Yeah, and even in the book, he talks about making a trip and being alone. And I haven't done that yet, that specific thing, but that is something that I want to do because, you need to be alone to hear yourself, right? Because in a way, if we're always on our phone, if we're all, even taking a shit, like I think 99% of the time, I have my phone when I'm taking a shit or like when I'm pissing. Even when I'm pissing, like I just take it without even thinking about it. It's just always there. It's this fucking adult pacifier, or like I have music always, just something. But we need that silence to really hear ourselves. So we have to be our own parent and be like, because parents, they'll be like, oh, here's the TV, just watch the TV or whatever to my kid, to their kid. But what if you just like, it's just, hey, it's you and me. Like, what's going on?
Right.
And we got to treat ourselves like we're our own child, because we all have the child inside, and if we don't take care of that shit, bad things happen.
Yeah.
Right? Bad things fucking happen.
Yeah, you have to confront yourself. And that's what's good about being alone. I think so many people fear it, and it's scary. Like, everybody wants to feel love, and everybody feels lonely at times. It's normal to want touch and a partner and stuff like that, but it also is really good to not be codependent and to really learn things about yourself and learn to love yourself. As corny as it fucking is, it's so true. Like, you really need to love yourself, because you're the only fucking person at the end of the day that is there for you. You have family, you have friends, but at the end of the day, you're the only person that is always going to be there for yourself. And
nobody's gonna care for you like you'll care, because even you could have friends that you have like a best friend, right? But they can't care about you like in the way that you would want them to,
right?
So it's really up to you. So yeah, I mean, we really are alone at the end of the day. We have people, but they're kind of like the supplement, right? But the main workout or the main like course, the main meal that really provides sustenance is ourselves. So we have to depend on that. And then not get too lost in like lone wolf mentality, because it can easily go that way too, which I went that route recently, and then I got out of it, and then been hanging out with my friends more recently, and I even allowed myself to not post like a YouTube video and like a podcast for a week, just to be like just chill a bit, like just chill, because I constantly would beat myself up mentally. I was like, just chill, you're not gonna fucking die. Your fucking fans aren't gonna leave you. Just fucking chill, man, just chill. And then it's been fucking beautiful. And even this week, I'm allowing myself to hang out with my buddy who's here from Texas, that I haven't seen in a while. I'm gonna hang out with him for 2 days, because before I'd say only that one day, maybe for like 2 hours, and you fucking grind. But that's one of my closest friends. Why the fuck would I not do that? And I actually trust. How many people do you have in your life that you actually trust, that like you could leave them with like 10 grand and they won't take $1?
Yeah.
How many?
Yeah. Not many.
Right?
Not many. Yeah. I know. It's crazy. It really is weird. Like, life and relationships and growth, it's all wild. It is wild time.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, that morning meditation, the manifestation, I was thinking of not doing it because it leaves me emotionally raw for like a few hours. So yesterday when I did the whole like thing, and I healed the thing with my dad in my mind, and I was crying. I off camera, I told her I was crying as if it was like I was crying as hard like the day he died like 10 years ago, right? But this one wasn't for sadness, but I was so emotionally raw when I was driving to my friend's house, and I listened to some anime music, and it wasn't even sad anime music, it was Japanese songs. I started to get like, so I had to turn it off, and I had to just be alone. I'm like, and then on the drive there, I'm like, fuck, I hope I don't like cry in front of them. I mean, they wouldn't judge me, but I was like, dude, I feel so emotionally raw. Right? But yeah, man.
That's crazy. Actually, and what you were saying, going back, because I don't want to forget commenting on that, but I don't know exactly what you're saying that I was trying to relate it to, but just realizing like, oh, that's what you're saying. You're basically saying like you're okay in that moment, like telling yourself you're okay. Yeah. And it's so true. Like when I'm having anxiety attacks or whatever, I have to tell myself like, you're safe, you're fine. And what is the worst that could happen? You die? Okay, then you're dead. Like then you're fine. And like, there's literally, we have to like realize that we are here for ourselves on this earth. And at the end of the day, if that's why you're here on this earth, which that's the reason we all are here, then what can you do to make sure that you're the happiest? It shouldn't be about your fucking boss or your fucking neighbor or that person that you're there for yourself. And if you're safe and if you're feeling good, then that's the most important. So if I was realizing on my trip, I'm like, I had a few like relationships, friendships and relationships that were just like making me anxious. And I'm like, what? Like, if I am feeling this way, like if people are making me feel like I can't be myself, how is that? That's not making me happy. You know what's making me happy? Actually cutting them off. Yeah. That's making me happy. I wish you the best, but, and that's fine. No, wish you the best. And like, you know, I don't hold animosity towards people, but like, I am actually at peace with just being on my own. And I'm realizing that even if I've been friends with somebody for years and I feel like this attachment to them, maybe right now, like maybe it's not what's best for me right now. It's not really serving the purpose that I like would need from it. It's actually like not making me feel that great. So I think we just all comes back to like, how can you make yourself the happiest and how can you put yourself first before anything else, you know?
Yeah, and that's a hard thing for, you know, people pleasers like us to do, right? So rewiring that, but like I would literally tell myself in my head, I would say, just be selfish as fuck. And I kept saying it to the point where I would shame myself, guilt myself, like, oh, that, you know, that's not right. But you got to like life is about giving to people too. Like that's how you feel good. Like Tony Robbins does that. Like all these entrepreneur, fucking Gary Vee, all these people talk like that and stuff. But you can't do that if you don't have anything to give. Yeah. Then you overextend yourself and then you get resentful and you actually become worse. So by me being way more selfish in every aspect possible, which ties in 100% with what makes you happy, I've been able to give more without even trying to do that. Because when you give to yourself like that and you allow yourself to like exist in the highest level possible with love for yourself, you just naturally exude this energy that can also heal people without even trying to. Now, I'm not saying like I'm like some fucking Jesus shit, but I mean, I've had friends say like that's kind of what's coming off from me, especially as of late, because I've been doing that for myself. Yeah. So, and other people have done that for me as well. Like some of my closest friends do. When we're together, it's just like, it just feels like just pure joy and peace. Yeah. Right. And it's nice.
Yeah, definitely. You gotta surround yourself with people that are just there. Like that friend you said that when, like how you were saying, like if you left like 10 grand.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's just like, it's so important. I'm actually getting really close to this girl who I'm just like, just so grateful for her. And also gratitude is like so important, but I'm just so grateful for her because I just feel connected in the sense that like I feel like a mutual respect. And I think with a lot of relationships and friendships in the past, it wasn't like mutual. I felt like I overgave myself and I like overly invested and it wasn't reciprocated. And I would feel really hurt like that I invested so much of like my heart or whatever towards somebody who didn't give it back. And so finding those relationships where they do is like so beautiful. And that's why I'm like, we should hang out more. Yeah. I feel like you know, finding those energies where it's just, you're on the same page and they'd be there for you, you'd be there for them is like so important.
Yeah. Plus I want to shoot skits with you too.
Hell yeah.
I need more girls too.
Okay. Fuck yeah.
Plus we get along. So I wouldn't just shoot a skit just cause she's a female. Cause like, I'm not good at pretending like I like somebody. I fucking hate doing that.
Dude, I was just talking about this with Julia because we were saying we hate.
Yeah, Julia. Yeah, she's cool. Yeah,
we hate fake people. That's my 2 pet peeves in people are fake and stuck up. Those are the worst.
Did you ever think that I was one of those at one point? No. You could be honest.
I'll be honest. I'm not fake.
Yeah.
No, I never thought that. Never. Okay. But it's funny because I think people think that I can be like kind of maybe stuck up, like kind of standoffish.
Because you get shy.
Yeah.
But
I'm like, I'm not.
I saw that early on, like maybe a year ago at the was it in Long Beach, that open mic?
K squared.
Yeah, K squared. Yeah. Halasha. Yeah, in Hey, that's for the Pakistan. That's for the Pakistan. Yeah. So I saw. I kind of read you. I was like, yeah, she seems kind of timid. Yeah. So I noticed that. So when we didn't really interact, it'd be like, sure. I'm like, hey, you're like, oh, hey, hi. And you just kind of walk off. I'm like, cool. It didn't bother me because I figured.
I feel like a lot of comics are like that. It's weird. Like
right.
We're all like a little bit autistic. Like we have a little bit of like social
mild autism.
Mild autism. There's like we're just a little bit on the spectrum. I feel like all of us.
I agree because it's so hard to talk to some of them. That's why I like being around you and like Galen and Dom and whoever the fuck else because we're gonna just talk.
Yeah.
And it's not painful. But the other ones, it's just push-up glasses. There's not a lot of people, and I don't want to just talk about that. Yeah. So, but but it's because they're insecure. It's when you don't take care of your mental shit and you do stand up, you become the most insecure person on earth, and you start to hate other stand up comedians, and you treat them in a way where it's crab mentality, and you like suppress them.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's also a lot. This is also Julia and I were talking about it. There's also a lot of comics that like get their one little freaking connection and think that they're like so above you.
Oh yeah,
it's like fuck off, dude. Yeah. Who are you? Like, they don't give you that follow back or whatever. Like, shut up. Honestly, even if you're freaking Crystal, well, maybe I shouldn't say Crystal.
Crystal, rest in peace. Oh God.
Well, that's another topic. Yeah. But even if you're, I don't know. I was about to say Louis C.K. God, I need to get off of that.
I know, right?
Even if you're Dave Chappelle, like, who are you? Like, yeah, that's fucking dope. You're Dave Chappelle. And I will be a little starstruck. But, like, you still are a human. You still came from where we all did. And
from vagina.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
In case some people don't know. In case you don't know.
But, yeah, it's just like, I don't think that I could, even if I had tons of money in my pocket, I just like treating people with respect and for people to think that they're better than because, they open up for whoever. It's like, great, congrats. I don't fucking care.
It's like, well, do you get paid for people just to see you? No, then calm the fuck down. And even like I've met celebrities, I don't give a fuck. These are and a lot of them are fucking insecure. So they're not gods, but it's easy to think like that, right? And I'll be honest too. So like I've been getting some more social media clout. There was a point recently where I didn't realize it because I was in a bad headspace too, but I started having like this grandiose narcissism, but it was all coming from a place of like inferiority. I kept comparing myself to other, bigger people. So then I would make myself feel like I was just a better person. Right?
Yeah.
Just telling myself, but I wasn't. And I'm not. I'm just a human. And it doesn't fucking matter. And I'm not getting paid off it yet. So why the fuck am I don't have anything to really, but also people, it was easier because like, people were blowing my fucking ego up, dude. So I have to, like Gary Vaynerchuk talks about it. Don't get too high with that shit. Don't get too low with what they say. Just be in the middle and just be with you. Like just know what it really is.
Right.
And that's where I'm back at, and it's humbling, and it's like it feels good, and I'm actually doing better now in terms of the growth because of that. Yeah. So I'm just grateful for every little bit of growth or whatever it is. It's just it's cool. Yeah.
I tried to you just reminded me of it. It's slightly off topic, but I tried to like, I don't want to say get with because I didn't like make a move, but
what?
Well, I was going to.
Okay. The intent was there.
The intent was there.
Got it.
So low key, I don't want to like say who it is because I feel like people are gonna like go search him. But there was this show, this reality show that I used to watch like pretty religiously with my friend years ago. And there was a guy on it that I was like, I don't want to say obsessed. I wasn't like creepy, but I just thought he was so fucking hot. I was a little obsessed. But so I like followed him, and apparently he's like a life coach now, which is so weird because he on the show was like a complete like fratty douchebag, but you know, great life-changing growth. That's awesome. So I like followed him, and then I saw that he was doing like free like phone calls for it's basically like an audit. Yeah, it's like an audit so that you can like sign up for him to be your life
Costco
coach.
samples.
Costco sample, yeah. So I like got a phone call with him.
Oh shit.
This was on my Big Bear trip actually.
Oh wow. Okay.
I got a phone call with him, and it was actually a great conversation. We talked for like 30 minutes. And it was really cool. His story was really cool because he was like telling me how he got to, you know, that place. So I guess my intent going into it was like, let me see where this is going to go. But it actually was beneficial as far as like, you know, what he was trying to help with.
Life stuff, yeah.
But I feel kind of bad because he basically like told me that I could like text his personal number after a phone call. And so I was like, oh, maybe he's about it, you know? Because I was like kind of surprised that he said I could text his personal number. But then like he emailed me the next day, like asking like kind of a follow-up. And I basically was like, well, sorry, I can't afford like you to be my life coach. But also life coach, like I feel like that's like a little bit for like sobriety or something. Like I already have a therapist. I feel like if I were to have a therapist and a life coach, like it's either like you're just really rich and you want to blow your money, or like, am I that fucked up? I mean, I'm fucked up, but like, you know, that's a little extreme. I just need a therapist.
You don't need the overkill.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, I can't afford that, but you know, I'm down to stay in touch. Didn't say anything after that. And it's so funny because our emails back and forth were like, he was very quick. And then after he said that, he was like, So maybe he thought I was ugly, or maybe he was just sick of girls like trying to like use his like career to get in there. But
it's so funny how girls automatically think maybe he thought I was ugly, or maybe it's because I'm it's not. No, it's nah.
But Julia and I were like, damn it, we wanted to have a threesome with this guy.
Wow, you gotta tell me who it is later.
I'll show you.
I want to see. Okay,
I'll show you. I was surprised Julia was into it because we have very opposite tastes, but she was like, dude, you can get it. And I was like, well, if he stays in touch. But if
he stays in touch, he could have touched.
But you know, he passed it up. So I do feel kind of bad. I feel kind of bad. Yeah. Cause I think he probably gets that often, like fans or whatever. Like I wouldn't say I'm a fan. That's a little, but he probably gets girls like acting like they want his help. And then they're like, I want to fuck, you know,
like last second, like surprise, here's my pussy.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I kind of did that, but I also was, I think, he probably was annoyed thinking I wasn't taking it seriously after he read that.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, I enjoyed our phone call. I was like, genuinely, we can stay in touch. Dude, he's so hot. I'm low-key a little blown. I'm a little blown that he...
You're already blushing a little bit, too. Yeah, he's that hot.
He's really hot. Here, you can, like, use it. I have another.
Oh yeah, he's a good looking guy.
I have another funny life coach story, but I don't know how much time you have for me to like.
No, we can talk for whatever fuck we want. Yeah.
Actually, the other one might seem like I'm a.
Creep. Yeah, he's got a lot of
I'm sure he like every girl is on his dick.
Yeah, I mean. I can understand that too, because even for me, when I was starting to blow up, I was getting hit up by like fucking hundreds of girls.
See, that's what's like kind of annoying is like,
but not anymore.
Stand-up comedians, like guys, get like, you know, get so much pussy, but like girls don't. Like, I mean, I've gotten asked out after a show, but it's just different, and it kind of annoys me because then it's like, well. That's why I'm like, do I want to date a stand-up comedian? This is a guy's life. A stand-up guy a guy who's a stand-up comedian. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Oh, because he's going to get hit up?
Yeah, they're just, girls are throwing themselves at them.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they're going to do it. Some guys.
Most guys would.
But here's the thing. Like, even for me, after a certain point, the novelty kind of went away, and I wasn't really into it that much, like at all. Like, I wouldn't really respond. Because you don't even know if it's for clout or what. Because sometimes it's that. Sometimes they want to say that they went on a date or fucked, this guy or like had a photo with him, or they have messages with this guy, right? Because I think they're also planning ahead, like, because I know I'm growing and they can see that. Like, they're not fucking stupid, right? So I can kind of tell sometimes what their intent is, and some of them are genuinely just like, I had a girl last week just shoot her shot through my DMs, and she wanted to meet like immediately for like a date.
Oh wow.
Like that, but I don't want to. Yeah.
Well, at least she asked for a date, right?
Yeah. I don't know. But I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say like I wouldn't hook up with these girls, but because I'm single as fuck. Why the fuck would I not? But I'm not going around like just like trying to like make that a priority. Because if it's between a stand-up show and that, dude, stand up first. I'm not desperate for vagina like that. I don't care about that like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So you want to date somebody where you don't have to worry if girls are throwing themselves.
Oh, but it's like.
But that's kind of exciting too.
No, but it's like, but does that exist? I don't know, man. I'm just sick of guys. I'm sick of men. I just like being alone. I feel like men are men, I could get into that for a while. I just don't know if somebody would be faithful for that long. I have trust issues. It's so weird because knock on wood, I've never been cheated on, but I've seen how men, I think because I think this is how you kind of figure out is when you're the girl that like the guy hit on or like something like that, that's in a relationship. And then you're like, oh, whoa. Was my boyfriend doing that? You know what I mean? It's like you kind of like when you're in a relationship, you don't see these things, but then on the outsider looking in, you're like, oh, that dude's sketch. And so I'm just like, are people too naive? Are people too trusting? I don't know if I want to, to commit to giving my all to someone that might not be faithful.
I know what you're talking about, and it's not just guys, it's girls.
I'm a very loyal person.
No, there's a lot of girls like that. You'd be surprised. Yeah. There's a lot. I fucked a girl who had a fiance, and she was hitting on me.
Oh, wow.
This was years ago. I didn't know she had a fiance until we were already at her house.
Yeah. But I feel like, okay, but there might be like a story behind that, because I feel like a lot of the times, I'm not vilifying all men and that women are perfect, because I'm sure there's, scummy women. Maybe that was the case. But I feel like most of the time when women cheat, it's like a little more justified versus like men are just bored and just want like the most options that they could.
No, that's part of the reason for guys. It's also part of the fact that guys will agree to be in a relationship with the girl because the girl wants it because they're afraid to lose the pussy. A lot of guys do that, and then they resent the girl because they weren't able to put the boundary down for themselves and be like, I don't want that.
Right.
And I'm willing to lose you. So they agree, and then some of them even end up getting married, and then they cheat. And a lot of them also be wary of dating a guy who doesn't have a mission in life. A lot of guys who don't have a purpose, they find purpose in pussy, in getting it, in conquest, right? Going out every week. I've had a lot of conversations with guys like this because I would call them out on that because I wanted to know this feeling, that this thought I have, I feel like it's true, and I can get it out of them. It's a fucking fact. So that's another sign for like, if you want to get into a relationship, do they have something greater than themselves, right?
What's your thoughts as a man? This is actually, I'm very curious. What are your thoughts on like age in marriage? Do you think that that if someone were to get engaged at my age, at 26, that's like, oh, they're going to end up in divorce. There's no way a guy at 26 is going to, or do you think it depends on the person? What's your thoughts on that?
I think it depends heavily on the person, but also age definitely plays a factor. So I think people that marry early in their early 20s, or even like 18, 19, whatever, they eventually get curious because they didn't experience it. Right? And that can lead them to divorce or cheating or whatever. And there's a lot of factors, even like biology, the physiology, the hormones. Especially with women, fucking women's hormones get crazy as like age, menopause, whatever. Like it affects everything, right? Even me having, I hope she doesn't listen to this, but even me having sex recently with this one person, she was saying like she's on her period, and you know what happens when girls are on their period, right? So that also had an added factor to the fact that we hooked up the second date, right? Not just to mention the fact that like I'm smooth as fuck, but just saying like I'm not that smooth, but you know what I mean though, right? Like there's factors in this, there's levels to this. So I the fear of missing out, right? Like especially, I mean, tell me if this is true, but do you see females when they get older too, they feel like they kind of have something to prove because they feel like they're losing their quote unquote value based off their looks as they age, so they kind of want to still feel sexy, like get kind of validation from guys like as they get older into like 30s, 40s, like moms?
Well, I mean, I'm not there yet.
I'm not saying you, but like people that you may have associated with or seen that you can kind of, because I feel like I see that shit.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like I see it.
What is it that they just like, they almost feel like threatened by younger females, or like?
Definitely I've seen that, but a lot of it is they still want to feel like they're sexy.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
Even if that means just trying to dress extra sexy, even if you have a kid.
Yeah.
And going out and a husband, right?
Yeah, that makes sense for sure. Yeah, a lot of people around me are starting to be engaged or pregnant, and it's so funny because I was telling you this earlier, like the older I get, it's like the opposite effect with me. I'm like Benjamin Button. No, but the older I get, I don't desire that. Like when I was 23 and I was in a relationship, I was like, I want babies with this person. I want marriage. And now being on my own, I'm like, I don't even think I want kids actually. And I'm definitely not ready to get married anytime soon. But with people that I know, getting engaged and stuff like that, as much as I don't want that right now, I am like, well, is something wrong with me? And I was like telling my mom that. I was like, I don't want it. It doesn't fit in my lifestyle right now. But like, I just am still a little bit sensitive to it, weirdly enough. Like, it doesn't really make sense. And my mom was like, no, it makes sense. But my mom was basically saying, she was like, half of those people are going to end up in divorce. They're all 26. But I'm like, but is that true? Like, I don't know. Maybe they genuinely are ready. I don't know. It's very interesting. I guess I'm just curious because I'm like, but I haven't found that. Like, who at 26 are you finding that like is that you're that sure of? I'm like,
no, everybody has their own reasons, and a lot of it I think just comes from like, even the desperation. Like women know their biological clock, and after a while they're like, oh, I gotta have kids now, right? Their body's telling them to, and then they have the kid and they're like, well, fuck, I don't like this guy. Like I just married this guy because my body was telling me to do this, and they probably felt like they had to get married to based off of like social construct. There's so many reasons outside of what we think we're supposed to, like for me, I don't want to get married. I thought I wanted to before, but that's because I'm just emulating what's going on with society. That's fucking it, right? But in my dreams, it's me getting paid to do my social media shit, my stand-up comedy, whatever, acting, and then maybe having like a chill girlfriend. But right now I don't even see that happening anytime soon, because the thing I realized for myself is I like my freedom.
Yeah.
Okay. And when I'm in a relationship, I feel resentful because I feel like I'm obligated to give time even when I don't want to give time. So that's like a personal issue that I'm like working through. But also maybe I know it's because I was dating people that I wasn't like really into. But how would I know who I'm into when I didn't even know myself really back then? So that's why right now I'm doing the whole super selfish thing. And there's nothing fucking wrong with that. And there's gonna be, I know there's gonna be women that are gonna, as you like, you know, like level up with your age and shit, they're gonna be like, oh, so you don't want kids, like you're you got a problem or something. But they're also kind of projecting too, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I think.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, I guess I'm just curious because I'm like, what man at 26 have these girls that are engaged? Are they set? Like, I'm almost curious if they're just settling, and like, it's not as like perfect as it seems on like social media or whatever, or like does that actually exist and they will work out and I'm just like I haven't found that yet. Like I'm just curious, you know, because I feel like I'm still really young and not ready for that. So I'm just curious what like, yeah,
dude, most guys just fucking settle. I'll tell you that.
Why do you think that is? Like they just,
because one scarcity mindset. They don't think they can get another girl, or a lot of it also has to do with, I was talking about this yesterday with my friend too. The childhood trauma stuff, like feeling the need, like maybe you didn't get that love when you were a kid. So then you find this female that makes you feel like cared for, but you're just trying to like heal your past through this person. And it doesn't really work like that.
yeah,
Right. Because I did that too before. So, yeah, I mean, humans are complex. Like,
I know.
you know, so I don't know. I mean, I've never been in a healthy relationship. I just know what I don't want.
Yeah.
And I know bad, like signs of red flags, but I don't know what it's like to be in an actual healthy relationship. I don't know.
Interesting.
I know what it's like to be in a healthy friendship, but not a healthy relationship.
Well, I think that's good that you're aware of that, right? Like instead of acting like you're in denial or there was no problems in past relationships.
Yeah.
But I also think because you're aware of that the right person, like you just won't even question it. Like it'll just feel right, you know?
Over time. Yeah, that's possible.
But this is really good that we're talking about this, because now when I date, I'm going to share more with you because I like to know a guy's perspective. And after this, I will share more off camera.
Oh, okay. I thought you said I'm going to DM the guy.
Oh no, the one that stopped talking.
The super hot guy.
You thought he was hot, right?
Well, I was saying what you said.
No, but you thought he was hot.
No, I know. I said, oh, he's very attractive. Like he's a good-looking guy for sure. I see why. But I'm not saying he's super hot. I think there's hotter guys out there that girls would fawn over like crazy.
But that's the thing, and I need to stop. Like obviously you have to be like somewhat physically attracted to someone, but I'm realizing that I'm starting to like personality a lot, because the hot ones are the ones that cheat, and also they don't value as much. Yeah. Whereas like if you go a little below you and it's like a nice personality, then they fucking worship you.
That's, you know what's funny? Girls do that after a while. In the beginning, like in the early to mid 20s, and sometimes like late 20s, they want that alpha, like super hot guy just to like, you know, just to fuck the shit out of them, go all crazy. And then they get heartbroken so many times, and then their biology's like, you need to have kids. And it's like, well, this one guy who was a little bit more beta, who's like not as good looking, who's like maybe like a 7 out of 10. He's got a good job. You know, he can take care of the kids. Like he was always there. You know, he won't leave. He's desperate for me. So yeah, maybe. And then she marries him, and then after like 10 years or 5 years, she's like, and she has kids. She's like, this guy's such a pussy. Like fuck. And then she cheats or like divorces or leaves. See, this is a show I just made.
Yeah.
But that's highly possible too. It happens.
Yeah. Well, right now I'm avoiding all of that.
Yeah. But you're right about the really hot guy thing, because this is something I believe. I believe now there's people that were not attractive growing up and then got hot later, like in college and on, because they, you know, whatever, they grew into it. But there's people that were always just super attractive to like whatever, each grade, what, you know, their peers, whatever, right? So they never had to develop a personality. They didn't know what it's like to be rejected or to doubt themselves. And I dated a girl like that and she has like no empathy. And that was my last relationship. And I was like mind blown at the lack of awareness. And that's why I told myself, you know, it's the same thing you're saying. And guys too. Guys that have just always been super fucking hot their whole life and didn't grow into it. They didn't really have to learn how to have good conversation or like high level empathy. Because how can you have empathy if you didn't go through shit?
Right.
And a lot of going through shit has to do with you just weren't good looking. Yeah. Like I was fucked up looking for like a lot. Even as a baby, I was like, I look at my photos, I'm like, ew. Like I get disgusted, you know. And even through high school, didn't get any girls. Like I was shy. I was short. I was, you know, didn't even know how to.
You
dress.
were short?
I was 5'4" in high school.
When did you grow?
I had a sophomore, junior year. That's when I got my growth spurt.
That's so interesting how guys work. Because same with my brother. He was like really short until he was like, I don't know, 15 or something, and then he.
How tall?
Maybe
is he
14.
Like what?
He's like 6'1", probably.
Yeah, dude, I would pray every day. I would pray to God.
That's
I'd be
so
like,
funny.
Please, if there's one thing you can give me, please make me taller. I will be the perfect Christian. I would pray.
I will be the perfect Christian.
Yeah, I would beg. Because I was like, I can't be 5'4" forever. Because I was 5'4", 125 pounds.
I'm 5'4".
We would have been the same height. It was fucked up.
How tall are you now?
Without shoes, 5'10" and a half. And a half. I have to say
in
that.
Crocs?
Yeah. So then when I wear shoes, I'm closer to 6 foot.
Oh, okay.
And I look taller because
what do you put on that Tinder profile?
5'11".
Okay, so you
Yeah.
You stretch.
But if I'm like this, if I like posture up, I'm like, all right. Because I mean, you know, people think I'm, you know, taller.
Dude, you're fine as long as.
No, I love my height now. Thank God.
I feel like as long as you're like 5'9" and up, girls are like less mean. But if you're under that, I do feel bad for guys. It's hard. It sucks. I mean,
have you heard
like tall
certain
guys.
things like with your friends where they would just shit on? Oh, okay, he's so short.
What do you mean with my friends? I do it.
Okay, well, like what kind of things do girls do? Like say, because I'm curious.
We say we'll be like, oh, like he's cute, but like he's so short, I can't, or you know.
Yeah.
It's a thing. We want to feel like, you know, you want that kind of like protection feeling. A man who's taller can pick you up, or like, you know, you can stand on your tippy toes and kiss, like, or when you're in heels, then they're still taller than you. It's a thing.
It's
like how guys like short girls, right?
True.
But it is fucked up because there should be more. It's unfortunate. I think part of it is like, I think part of it is also that I want to feel protected. Like I want a guy who's like, not a little bitch, but also doesn't start the fight at the bar. You know, like I want someone to be able to protect me.
When it comes down to it, he can protect you.
Yeah.
But he's smart about it.
Right.
Yeah.
I only date guys like that. I cannot date the bar fight starter. But I also couldn't date the pussy either. Like that is if I can like sense that like you are a little bitch, like that's such a turn off. It's just as much of a turn off as the person that wants to start the fights. There has to be an in between for sure. Have
you give me an example of a time you saw a guy that was being so beta at that moment, right? And it doesn't have to be like he was gonna maybe fight somebody, but you know what I mean? Like where you saw the sign.
Super
bitch.
Yeah, you mean like starting a fight?
No. Of the guy being like, you just know he's a bitch because you could sense it because you could see little examples. Just
based off of like their personality, like maybe they're like timidness, or like almost the way they talk about people is like they don't want to say anything bad, and it's like, okay, like, you know what I mean, like they're almost scared. I don't really have a story of like, because I avoid those guys. I'm like, I don't want to date you. But I do have instances where like guys have like tried to start shit to like make me think that was cool or whatever.
Oh,
you know,
to show that they're this tough guy, right?
Yeah.
To impress you, which is actually
such a turn off.
It's weak. It's
Yeah.
sad. They're willing to fight and get hurt just to try to get some vagina.
Yeah, but it doesn't work. Like, it's such a fucking turnoff. And I think it's really bad when girls enable that behavior.
Dude, I've seen girls, and I even talked to bouncers that would see the same girls come in with different guys each week, where he said, yeah, there's girls that literally will try to start shit with these other guys to see if this guy will protect her or fight. Yeah, it happens all the time. He said all the fucking time. And I've seen stuff like this too.
That's
but not,
so disgusting.
It is, and it's sick. It's fucking sick in the head. But I mean, that goes to girls like guys with confidence, which also is connected with them being so comfortable in their skin, right? So he may not be like this super buff MMA fighter, but you can feel protected because he can stand up for himself and his beliefs, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I've had, I'd say the last 2 guys I've dated actually recently were not like particularly like huge, but they just had that like good demeanor where like they were friendly, but like they weren't gonna like take shit. And that was like good because it was like I still felt protected. They weren't like the tallest guys on the planet, but like I knew that like I felt like they had my back.
Yeah.
They weren't gonna like take shit. Yeah.
They'll be vocal. Yeah.
Well, and they still probably would have been able to like defend me physically, but they just weren't gonna start shit. But yeah, I definitely couldn't date a guy shorter than me.
How tall are you? 5'4", you said?
I'm 5'4", yeah. Oh my God, there's actually, I feel horrible saying this, but have you ever seen that show, Little People, Big World?
You mean with the little people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one.
Okay. Yeah.
That one. There's a couple on it where the girl's like I don't want to say normal, like a person that's not a little person. Yeah. And then her husband is little person.
Yeah.
And that's so interesting to me because I mean, I guess it goes back to like what we're taught to believe, but I just like feeling protected and feeling like the woman. And yeah, it's just interesting that they have kids and are married and are totally, attracted to each other.
I've seen that. And now that I'm older and obviously I'm a guy, I can see how that could work out, right? Because I bet that guy, he's so comfortable with himself.
Yeah.
He's so confident that he doesn't care how people view him. And he's an easy target, right?
Right.
He made fun of and all that, but he doesn't give a fuck. Right. And he's more confident than that 6'2" buff guy. And I know all these hot dudes that are fucking pussies, man. They are so insecure. It's hilarious. Yeah. So and I know a lot of people that aren't like that are super kind of physically smaller, and they just, their confidence exudes from them and they don't even try because they fully accepted themselves. So they could be part of that. Who knows? Yeah. And maybe that girl just wants, maybe she's like got a pedophile
fetish, yeah.
stuff. Like she's like, I like kids, but this is my way of,
This is legal.
Yeah, this is legal because he's grown, but he's got the body of a child.
I don't know. Their kids are really cute though. Actually.
Oh yeah.
Their kids
and they're
are
not little
really
people
cute.
Kids?
They have little people kids, which I guess could go 50-50.
True.
But they're really fucking cute. Yeah. Like they're exceptionally pretty cute. And I don't say that about most kids. I'm pretty brutal. I think there's like some really cute kids, but there's some really fucking not cute kids, but their kids are cute.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just interesting. I always go for a type. I always go, like every single guy I've dated, I have a type to a T. Like every time my friends see like who I'm dating, or if they see someone they're always like, oh my God, he's so your type. It's bad, but I'm trying to step out of that zone.
What's your type?
Like physically, that's what I meant. Yeah. I always go for like
white, tall, buff.
Not too buff. I like lean. Like I like some muscle. I like arms and a back, but like not like juice heady. Like that's too much for me. Yeah. I like darker features, like brown eyes, brown hair. I love eyebrows. Like thick eyebrows are my thing.
Bold.
If I'm gonna like give an example so you could have a visual, it'd be like Shia LaBeouf, Nick Jonas.
Dude, Shia LaBeouf, he's got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's cool too, his personality.
Oh yeah, he seems dope. I know people are like, he's crazy. I'm like, I kind of like it.
I don't think he's crazy. I think he's just misunderstood because like he's been able to see that's the type of, I can respect that type of shit because that's what every guy should strive to be. Not him, but being so unapologetically yourself that people love you and people hate you, but you don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's what men should strive for. Not trying to be hated, but you know what I mean? Like, cause you stand up for yourself and you're just who you are.
Yeah. I like him in that sense. And he also doesn't seem like he likes a ton of attention versus like Kanye, I guess, is like unapologetically himself, but it's like very like media manipulated. Like he like it's for publicity a lot of the time.
I'm Jesus, so I'm Jesus on earth. That type of shit, right?
Right. So yeah, I like Shia LaBeouf in that sense where he's like, he doesn't give a fuck, but he also like seems pretty private. Like he is who he fucking is, but he's not going to go out of his way to like seek attention.
Yeah.
So it seems. I don't know him personally.
Who knows? But
do you have any connections? Help
with Shia LaBeouf? No. Dude, if
I've heard he's come to the Comedy Store a few times. I was like, where the fuck was I?
Oh, man.
I swear I would go there every night. And of course, the like one night out of the week that I wasn't there would be when like Chappelle was there, Shia LaBeouf. Always when I wasn't there was when somebody really cool was there.
Are you trying to go to the Comedy Store again?
What do you mean trying to go?
Now?
Oh, I've been a few times. I mean, I live like right there now.
Right now?
Was I telling you that? I was telling somebody.
You told me something about the Comedy Store.
It at first was really dead and depressing. Now, the last time I went, it actually was a lot more full than I expected, which was kind of exciting because it was like, oh, they might be like coming back. But it's still a little depressing in the sense that like you're confined to your seats. So when you get up, you have to wear your mask and you're not socializing inside, which was like a lot of
you would go, right?
Yeah. So you're basically at a seat with a drink, but there were a lot of people there and I saw that they're starting shows back up in the OR, but it's like where they're in the glass and the audience is outside. But I still find that like slowly something's,
which is good.
Yeah. I really like that they're really trying to like hold on. Like they're trying to, I feel like they're very hopeful. Like they're trying to keep people in their spirits, which I appreciate. So yeah, we should go. I mean, I'm down. I live right there. So you can. Cause
I haven't gone yet to just even like hang out. I've been there really maybe twice.
Okay.
For shows, maybe twice. Mm-hmm. So, but now I feel so much more comfortable with myself. I don't feel like I have to prove anything.
Yeah.
So,
hell yeah.
If we bump into, like Shia or whoever, it's like, hey, what's up?
I don't think he would go right now.
I know, right?
But, hopefully next year shit's back to normal. Maybe he'll be there.
Yeah, I hope so. Have you been hitting mics?
A little bit. I was doing a few outdoor ones. Then I had my mental breakdown.
Of course.
I actually kind of wanted to start one, but I don't like hosting. Do you like hosting? I was thinking about starting one and then having someone host. So
I haven't hosted a whole lot. I mean, I had my own show, but that was only like once a month, and it wasn't like, so I didn't host a lot.
Okay.
So, but to me, that's a whole different animal. Hosting versus doing stand up.
No, I genuinely don't like hosting. I mean, you can get time in, but like it's
different.
Why
don't you like it? Because you feel like the whole show will be dictated based off of your energy and how you.
No, not that. I feel like one, you're like not that important. Like people are like when you're hosting like like the Irvine Improv or something, like it's great because you could be on a really good lineup and it's just a great opportunity. Like I'm not complaining at all. Yeah. I would never pass it down, but it's just you're not the focus. Like the rest of the lineup are like more of the focus, and also it's just stressful. You have to like be on your time and like be on your shit, not forget names. You have to like remember their why am I blanking? Their credits and all that.
Oh, that's the worst. I fucked up credits so many times.
Oh my God, it's so, but like, especially, I gotta commend myself. I actually did pretty good with that at Irvine when I hosted, but it's terrifying, you know, especially if they have a lot that they like, if they have like 3 recent like big things that they want you to put out there. It's like, oh fuck. Or if they have like a hard name, it's just scary, dude. It's scary. But also it's also good in the sense that like, because you're not the main focus, like there's less pressure. So it's good in that sense.
That's good. Hey, I do want to ask you this because I haven't had a girl on the podcast in a minute. So now's the time.
Yeah.
Especially a stand-up.
Oh God.
I want to know about... What's it oh God for?
I'm just this worse. It's
like
going.
Stressful? Like you
no,
all
I'm
the lights
scared.
on you?
What are you gonna ask? Yeah.
Okay. We don't have to go into it if you don't want to. Okay. But how is it being a female in the stand-up world with guys, and do guys try to take advantage of, you know, you being a female if they have some kind of quote unquote power, right? Whether they have shows.
Oh, like another comic?
Yeah. Is it a thing that's common, like often in your life that happens? Because I know we kind of talked about it on the other thing, but yeah.
I've had pretty good experiences so far, but I'm sure once you're getting closer and closer to bigger comedians, I'm sure that that's of course a thing. I mean, they have this power over, I mean, this like this power level, right? Where we saw it with like Louis C.K. and stuff like that. But I've had pretty good interactions. I also really am good about like not taking shit from guys, specifically. Like, not that I'm not great at standing up for myself in certain scenarios, but with guys specifically, like I don't fuck with that like incel shit or you like making me uncomfortable. I off the bat, I kind of set a tone of like what I want this to be. So yeah, I feel like I've had pretty good experiences, but you also, some of it you can't control. There are creeps and there are...
Yeah, because I hear these stories, so I just feel like it's got to be happening a lot.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, yeah, I'm trying to think if I've dealt with asshole comedians, but like, yeah, nothing were to the point of me feeling very uncomfortable.
Maybe because they can sense that you have those boundaries immediately. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they're like, no, we're not going to... Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I definitely could see it being a thing if I was further up or closer to like a bigger.
True, because I guess right now we're just among our peers, mainly just people with nobody really knows about.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I'm a nobody.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. I am.
I'm a nobody too. We're all nobody.
No, yeah, I'm a nobody.
Kingdom Hearts.
It's great. It's great. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens in 10 years.
We'll see what happens. We'll see. We'll do a follow up.
Yeah.
10 years from now, like, yeah, there's been 20 guys who try to do some fucked up shit.
Dude, that'd be horrible. I know.
That would be horrible. I don't wish that on you at all. I've heard
stories. So like, I just think I'm like, and there are some people who, do kind of like prey on the fact that like there's newer comics or newer girls in the scene. Julia had kind of an instance she talked about on Galen's. I think, when people are in like a position of power and they see that you're newer to something, they want to take advantage of that. Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. But you know what? If any stand-up comics are listening to this, if you do that, you will get doxxed. Mm-hmm. And I'll make sure of it. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna lie though, because I have a lot of followers now. Mm-hmm. A part of me is like, well, if somebody tries to fuck me over, I can dox them, but I would never do that because that's fucked up, and I'll get sued. But
is there some? Could I have you dox someone for me?
I know, right. Like I'll have them low key do it secretly, private message them. So yeah, don't fuck with her, guys. Don't fuck with Kelly Jean Brown.
Hey.
Yeah. So before we end, I want to say, is there some kind of message you want to leave the audience with? It doesn't have to be deep.
Oh, wow.
It can be deep. Is there something you want to say? Something that's been on your mind? Whatever it may be. Very broad.
Yeah. Whatever. I think just like, I know this is so fucking cliche, but just make yourself happy, you know? I'm like, I'm tired of people like, and you're allowed to complain, but I know people that are complaining because they're like miserable in their job or their, which I mean, I am too, but miserable in the sense that like, they feel like that's like what they need to do in order to be like stable. And it's just sad. It's like, no, you don't, people need to stop worrying about what their parents want for them or what, like, you know, or it's just do what makes you happy. And if at the end of the day, it's being a struggling artist, then go for that, because that's what's going to make you happy at the end of the day, doing something that fulfills you. That's my message.
Be fulfilled, live life on your terms, and shoot for happiness. Social media plugs, whatever you want to say.
Okay, word. You can follow me at Kelly_J_Brown. That's on Twitter, Instagram. And then my podcast, which is Slightly Bitter Pod on Instagram and all platforms. All platforms would be just Slightly Bitter, but yeah.
Slightly Bitter Podcast. Okay, guys, this has been another episode of the Setbreaker Podcast. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. Have a great night. Have a great morning. I fucked it up. But you know what I'm saying. So, see you next episode, okay? Love you. Bye.